Hello, my friends. In today's episode, I'm speaking with Mark Fisher, and we are talking about how to know what systems you need to build in your gym business. So, if you know you need to build systems in your business, but you're not sure where to start, we introduce you to a free tool that we offer right on our Business of Unicorns website. We walk you through how to use it in today's episode. So, if you want to get better at building business systems, this is a great episode for you. Keep on listening, my friend. Hello, fitness business nerds. What's up? Welcome to another episode of the Business of Unicorns podcast. Today, I'm here with my non-sexual life partner, Mark Fisher. Hello, sir.
Well, hello.
Happy start to your week. We're recording on a Tuesday. How's your week going so far?
Going pretty good. Recovering from a stomach bug and no longer feeling violent stomach cramps. So depleted is a refreshing joy after that.
Yeah, it's good to celebrate not being sick today.
Yes.
What a treat. Well, before we dive into today's episode, I do want to take a quick minute to remind our listeners. You've probably heard this before, and if you're listening to the podcast on a regular basis, but we are right now in the middle of enrollment for our Unicorn Society group, which you hear about a lot on this podcast. We only open enrollment twice per year, and this enrollment period ends on Sunday, July 2nd. So if you're listening to this before Sunday, July 2nd, 2023, go to our website, businessofunicorns.com, and click the link on Unicorn Society to learn more and apply. As we've said before, applying is not committing to anything. It's just getting on the phone to talk to us and decide if we're a good fit for each other. So come talk to us and let's see if we can work together. Anything else you want to say about Unicorn Society, Fisher?
No, this is like weird. I would say just read the page. Read the page so you understand like what you're getting, and also there are some criteria, so we can like probably save you the time as if you look through and you're like, oh, I'm not actually the right fit for this. Again, it doesn't mean you're not amazing. It doesn't mean that we don't want to direct you to places where you can get support, but it's a specific criteria for what that we do. So I think that's the first thing to do. Read the page and see if it sounds like you like it.
Yeah, I think it's a great tip. Go read the page before you apply. Well, let's dive in. Actually, speaking of our website, a tool that we've had on our website is called the Ultimate Training Gym Owner Report Card. We've had this tool on our website for a while. I made it, years ago now, and we get some questions about it from time to time. So we wanted to talk a little bit about what this free tool is that we offer, like what it is, and why we think all of you should do it, and then what we think you should do with it once you've done it. And so, I'll start with this. Maybe I'll kick this off as you're just saying what the tool is and why we made it, and then you can kind of talk about the application piece. But the thing that we've experienced ourselves as gym owners, and we experience working with now hundreds of other gym owners, is that it's very easy to get stuck working in your business every day, to be pulled in a million directions, to be wearing all the hats, and to be, for many of you training gym owners, you're on the floor actually working with clients every day. And then when you're off the floor, you're managing your team and trying to do some marketing and sales, and you're cleaning the bathrooms in many cases, right? And so one of the things that's really hard to do is to create some boundaries for yourself, to pause and work on the business from time to time. And what I mean by that is stepping out of the day-to-day and being strategic about building systems in your business. And when people even go to make the time to do that, one of the things they're stuck with is, okay, maybe I made some time to work on my business, but where do I fucking start? Now that I have an hour twice a week to work on my business, what do I do first? What are the systems in my business I should have? And how do I figure out where to get started? And that's the starting place of why we made this tool, this report card. This report card is essentially a 30-question self-assessment to help you answer the questions, what systems do I need in my business, from people who have some answers for you. And two, you will assess for yourself, which of those systems do you not have at all? Which of these systems do you have and they're maybe not producing results, or they're not being used consistently? And what systems do you think are crushing it and are already finished? That's this report card self-assessment in a nutshell. For most people, it takes maybe 10, 15 minutes to fill out. It's not a very arduous task. And at the end of it, we hope you're clear about the 30 systems we think most gym owners should have in their business and where you stand for each. And I'll let Fisher take it from here, but that's a little bit about why we made the tool, a little bit about how the tool functions. And in case this wasn't clear, it's free. It's on our website right now. You can go get it. It's a PDF. You download, you print it out, you fill it out, and then from there you can go lots of different places. But yeah, do you want to just talk a little bit about how this is applicable for listeners, Fisher?
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to understand from a diagnostic perspective where the missing holes are in your business. And sometimes, particularly if you are either newer to this or you haven't been doing this for 12 years, it's not going to be obvious to you. And there might be things that you're missing that you are unaware are in fact representing a rate limiting factor in the business, which is to say that this particular missing system, missing skill set, missing tool is preventing you from having the type of success that you'd otherwise like to be having.
Yeah, 100%. And here's the thing is that, I don't know that there is a definitive list of systems and processes that every single gym owner has to have, right? And we're not suggesting that this PDF is like the end all be all Bible of gym run operations. But I do think what I think that report does really well is it gives you a list of best practices and organizes them by a few categories that help you just think about your business in buckets. So there's a section for marketing, there's a section for sales, for your team experience, for your client experience, for finance, for facilities and operations, and even just starting to put using your own mind those buckets as a way to organize your thinking about the business and to prioritize where you're going to invest your time and energy next is a really great starting point. Yeah. So Fisher, let's just say people download it and they fill it out and they're really clear about the systems they don't have, the systems they want to have. How do they use that to take next steps?
Yeah, well, I guess, this is something I may be curious for your 2 cents on, actually, is because I think there's a world where we might even have a slightly different perspective on this, because
Yeah.
it occurs to me that the next conversation is what to do next, right? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
like the next piece, because if there's something that has just become clearer and clearer to me year after working with so many gym owners at this point, is on the one hand, the challenge is most of the systems in the business can be a little chicken of the eggy. Like you kind of need everything, right? You kind of need a good
Yeah.
team, and you need to have the good onboarding before you can have a team that's trained well. But you have to know how to train the team. And if you don't have the team in place, then you're not going to have good fulfillment. And if you don't have good fulfillment, then you don't have good retention. And if you don't have good retention, then you really have to focus on sales and marketing. But your retention doesn't matter if you didn't do sales and marketing in the first place. So there's two things that I think are interesting that are somewhat paradoxical, but both are true, which is on the one hand, everything actually does matter. There's nothing on
Mm-hmm.
there that or wouldn't be on there, right? Like there's not a lot of nice to haves on this list, or even the way we recommend most people think about their business. But on the other hand, there are some things, not everything, there are some things that are sequentials, right? And this is, it's all an imperfect model, right? Because you can't say, class example, something like marketing, right? So members of the Unicorn Society have access to, in some ways, it's a version of this tool that's very specific to your marketing and sales. And it's specifically referred to as an order of operations, because there's some things that sequentially need to come first before other things, right? But a lot of the important elements, tools, and systems of marketing, it's actually a little bit hard to say which is more important, because it can depend on the gym and
Mm-hmm.
depend on the business. So I think what becomes useful is to identify, what are the things that inarguably are going to have to happen first all the time? What are the
Yeah.
things that usually are going to be the next thing you're going to want to go to, maybe some wiggle room? And then you've got a giant bucket of things which are all important, but are defined by the fact that they don't actually start to matter until these first pieces are in play. And again, similarly, reasonable people can disagree about the exact order of action.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we've had many conversations about this, and I wish we could just make like a steps 1 through 100 for how to run a gym,
Yeah, it's
right?
fun.
Like
Yeah. I mean,
maybe
you
one
could,
day.
and you
Yeah.
would, but
Yeah.
by definitionally, and we have, I think, as we've evolved, we've gotten more and more willing to do that and comfortable with the fact that it's an imperfect model and an imperfect
Yeah.
recommendation, just because we are aware coaching can have, there's a lot of different kinds of coach, right? There's a lot of different value people are looking for when they want help. And we've come to understand a lot of people do sometimes just want to be told what to do. We just try to be transparent, hopefully in a way that doesn't thwart the individual confidence, that to some extent they're manufactured, some of these sequences. And again, not
Yeah.
all. I do think there are certain
Totally.
hierarchies that do need to be observed.
Yeah. Well, I think you're right. I think there's kind of one of two things that I see happen when people take this report card. And now I've talked to, again, probably hundreds of people who've taken it
Yeah,
and we use it as a tool,
including
and unicorn, including
yeah, I was
us.
going to say we have the people in the Unicorn Society also do this too. So this is
Yeah.
this is a
And for many
valuable
of
tool
them,
for you, but also for us if we're looking to help you because we can quickly thin
yeah.
slice like okay, now we know where to put our eyes.
And many Unicorn Study members now use this as a kind of a milestone marker for themselves. They'll either do it once a
Mm-hmm.
quarter when they're doing quarterly planning, or maybe once or twice a year when they're thinking about what they want to work on for the next half of the year, as a way of keeping inventory of what systems have we made and we feel good about, and what systems have we not paid any attention to yet. But
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's kind of one of two things that happen when people fill out their report card. In some cases, it illuminates what they already know. Right. It just solidifies. Yes, we know we've spent a lot of time on our client experience, and that number shows. We know we've spent a little less time on the team experience, and that really shows. And so in some cases, just kind of reinforces in really clear thinking in an organized way, just a few pages. This is our roadmap for moving forward. This really just, reinforces what we already know. The other thing I see happen is that it really makes vividly clear a blind spot that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So some people will fill it out and, maybe get all zeros, for example, the finance section, right? Where they'll be like, you know what? I've been completely ignoring this and ignoring the fact that I've been ignoring this. And it shows because we are way overspending in all the areas. And we don't have a budget, and we don't have a way of managing our cash flow, and we don't have, and they can go on and on and on. And so in some cases, it'll really wake you up to something that has not been working. You haven't really acknowledged it. And in some cases, it'll reinforce what you think you already know about the business. But I have yet to talk to anyone who has taken this and not found it valuable as a way of kind of framing priorities that they should focus on next. And so I think, like all self-assessments, because other, kind of meta thing you're doing here is you're just working on that muscle of self-reflection.
Sure.
Right? You're just working on that muscle as a leader of like reflecting on your own actions, your own behaviors. And the big question we're trying to answer here is what is the bottleneck to the business that I'm going to invest my time, energy, and resource into next to remove so we can keep growing and developing. And hopefully this is just one tool that could help you do that. But, I think it can be really valuable. And as Fisher said, for folks who join Unicorn Society, we have a report card for all of those 6 categories I mentioned now. We started with the marketing one, and now we've developed one for each of those 6. So if you want to really take a deep dive into any of those areas, we have additional report cards, and I'm sure we'll be posting on our website over time as kind of lead magnets. But as a Unicorn Society member, people get that right away, and they'll be starting to use them more and more. What else? I'm trying to think of, what else is useful to say about this report card. Anything else you would add to this conversation?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
it's pretty
I think
simple.
we nailed it. I think we nailed it.
And I think if you haven't done it yet, now's the time to go.
Yeah, I think now's the time to go. Just go to the website, businessofunicorns.com. It's been a lead magnet on our homepage for a while. Do it. And one of the things I think is really valuable, I'll say this one last thing, is that I've seen this happen a lot. If you have a business partner or a small leadership team or a few owners, I really encourage you all to do it separately first.
Oh, that's a great idea. That's a really great idea.
Take it all separately and then come together and talk about it. And in some cases, I've met partners and teams who are really all on the same page, and some that think wildly different about the levels of completion of their systems. So it can be a great way to help get you and your partner or your team aligned. Yeah. Well, let's leave it there. I think this is a great little short episode on like a really important self-assessment tool that I think we're really proud of and we find very valuable with our Unicorn Society members. So go take it. It's free. And for those of you who want to join Unicorn Society, if you're listening to this before Sunday, July 2nd, go to our website and read the page and apply.
Yes.
And if you found this podcast valuable, leave us 5-star review everywhere you listen, and email us, mark@businessofunicorns.com, michael@businessofunicorns.com. Let us know what you want us to talk about next or who you want us to talk to. Thanks for a great chat, Fisher. See you on the next one.